today on the Mindset Elevator, this live stream for this Friday. All right. Friday the 13th. Okay, everybody. Thank you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you guys for showing up and supporting the channel and spreading love and spreading good energy, good vibes. Okay, I'm going to get into it because when it comes to your intelligence, it's just one of those things that people cannot play with. People cannot mess with your mind. People cannot play with your intelligence when it comes to what you know, when it comes to how your brain operates. Nobody's going to trouble you. And when people start figuring out that your brain, your knowledge is the driving force of all things good in your life, it's going to be blessings coming through, no doubt, but there's going to be drama, there's going to be competition, there's going to be strife, there's going to be people who want to show you up or make it seem like they know more than you, but it's just that throughout your life's experiences, you've learned a lot. You've gained a lot of knowledge about life, the world, right? So you're able to move accordingly and move clean, right? And make really good choices and excel where people thought you would never even come to these points, right? So I'm going to get into it. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Hey, India. How are you? Thanks for the good vibes. Hey, Peculiar. Hey, City. Hope you guys are feeling great. Thank you guys so much. Understand that your intelligence, above all, is going to be a threat. All right. When people find out how smart you are, it's going to be a lot of feelings, a lot of different scenarios taking place. When people finally get to knowing who you really are and how you really operate, and the level of intelligence that you have is astounding. It's to the point where people are like, how do you know what you know? How would you know this, right? People are going to start questioning, how do you have the information that you have? How did you come into these details? How do you know so much? How do you know so deeply, right? And this is going to be what people can't compromise. That's the beautiful thing about intelligence. It's up here. Of course, it gets enacted, or your intelligence gets used by how you move. If you're scholarly, if you do a lot of work, if you know what I mean, through your line of work, through your career, just street smart, how, the moves you make. Yes, that comes from your wit, that comes from your intelligence, that comes from you making concise choices because you know better, right? So you know how to move, right? But then it's going to come in other forms. It's like intelligence is key to success. When you're intelligent, when you are smart, you're already set apart from the rest. All right, you're set apart. You've been put on a higher pedestal. When you are intelligent, when you know what you know, no one's going to be able to mess with you out here. Nobody's going to be able to tell you anything and just get away with it. You probably are able to educate a lot of individuals around you because you know a lot. You've come into a lot of information either by reading, by taking up a lot of hobbies, doing a lot of research, things of that nature, going through life, living to tell the tale, making different choices. You gain knowledge in these ways, and you're able to navigate life in a much more seamless fashion because you learned a lot of great things. You have a lot of lessons under your belt. And then, with your studious mind, perhaps, or maybe you're the type of person who really likes education or really likes reading or really likes probing deeper, going further than what meets the eyes. And you add to your intelligence and you add to, the knowledge or the wisdom that is in your brain, right? So intelligence is beautiful, and your intelligence is a threat. When people know that's your little secret, people will look at you when they want to know what it is about you. What is it? They know there is something about you, but what is it? They can't put their finger on it, right? A lot of times it's going to come down to the fact that you are highly, highly intelligent. The way that your brain is wired, right, is so startling to people who maybe didn't realize that you knew all this information. Maybe they didn't know that you knew certain things. Maybe they thought you were naive or gullible or weren't fully aware of what there was to know, right? You may appear, this has happened to me before. People, I'm able to talk to people about a certain topic or subject, and they're looking at me funny, like, how do you know this? It's like, what? Are you the only one that can know, right? this is common knowledge. Anybody can know, anybody can learn, anybody can be taught and get smarter and get more wise, right? And so, yes. Yep. Hey, Queen, hope you're doing awesome. Yep. Thank you guys so much for the positive vibes. Elijah says, "Are you a Harvard grad?" No, I'm not a Harvard grad. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys so much for the good vibes. Nazima says, "I'm from South Africa." Welcome from South Africa. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for the awesome, awesome vibes. Your intelligence is a threat. People are going to be startled that you know what you know, and they want to know how you know this, right? Like I said in the earlier example, I've had people when I'm talking to them about certain topics that they obviously didn't think I would know about, right? Or they didn't think that I could go deep on a certain subject. They're thinking, okay, at the minimum, you may have heard about it, but you're explaining it to the person who was trying to explain it to you, right? And it's kind of like, how do you know that? It's like, I get a little bit offended. Like, what do you mean? I can know what you know. I can know it more than you, possibly, right? Or you can know more than me, but you can't really judge. You never know, right? So it's really interesting that your intelligence, people, when they start seeing that you are quite smart in a lot of different aspects of your life, people are going to admire that about you, surely, but then there's going to be people who really, really, really feel threatened by that. They feel threatened that there's just kind of something extra, something, more sublime, something a little bit more attractive and a little bit more, people feel a little bit more wary about you, especially when they see that there's this level of knowing that you have that they cannot get in between, or they can't discredit it. You're going to have people who try to discredit your intelligence and make you think that you don't know anything, or make you feel like you don't know anything, or that you're uneducated. I had somebody recently, but they've been doing this for a long time. This is somebody that I'm not fond of, but this is somebody that's been doing this for a long time, right? Where anytime that they're mad or anytime that they're angry, they try to like discredit my intelligence, or they try to poke at what I know, or poke at how my mind operates. And it's to try to get at me, or it's try to make me feel that I'm not educated, or that I don't know anything, or that, I'm not this person who, and the problem with this as well, which, why I think a lot of people do this, is because unfortunately, when you look a certain way, and this is just my opinion, when you look a certain way, when you appear a certain way, people make assumptions, right? We all do it, but some people go a little bit further on that, right? Where when you look a certain way, people don't want to put two and two together. They don't want to believe that somebody who looks like that, or comes from that background, or comes from that city, wow, like that's rough, and they start realizing that, yes, intelligent people can come from these circumstances, or really smart people, sometimes they come from poverty, sometimes they come from rats and roaches. You would never know, right? That's just how it is. This is because we know, right? We know that it doesn't matter where you come from. If you have a solid mind, right, it's going to set you apart. But some people don't want to believe that. They don't want to believe that perhaps because you appear to be a certain way, or appear to be of a certain class, or a certain place, or a certain status in society, they want to make it seem like, nah, you can't be smart, or you're putting on an act, or you're putting on a show, and this is not who you really are. You're an imposter. So that's what that person does to me sometimes. They know I come from, I wouldn't say poverty, but definitely, well, if you knew, you'd be, you would see, right? Some people, they know your story, right? They know your story, they know your history, and they're thinking that, okay, because most of the individuals from this demographic or location are not educated, or do not care, or do not rise, then you can't be like that. You are not smart, or you don't know nothing. I know more than you. And then, they're going to start adding in the little fluff things of the world. I have more degrees, I'm older than you. I have more than you. So I'm more successful than you. I'm smarter than you. A lot of people are going to be, intimidated, because your intelligence could go way beyond your actual age, Like perhaps you're so smart, but you're more youthful, right? And it could be youthful. You could be, a person who's 50, and then people who are like 70 are trying to, act like you and them are the same size, and trying to make it seem like, oh, because you're younger than them, that you don't know much, or they're trying to school you or educate you and try to make it seem like you don't know a lot. It could be any age. It doesn't really matter, but we know it to be more of the people from, situations from people who are more middle aged, younger, competition. It's just crazy, right? But your intelligence can be a threat. Your intelligence, when people see that you're smart, like ultra intelligent, they know that there's no fooling you, right? They know not to have certain conversations with you or to bring up certain topics with you because you're probably going to go in, or you're probably going to you're probably going to be able to educate them or add more substance to the topic that perhaps maybe they didn't know that you would, or they didn't think that you were like that, or perhaps they've grown to know that you are very intelligent, but it's kind of like, it's starting to bug them or starting to bother them that, you're this scholar in society. They see you as this, smarty pants, somebody who thinks they know it all. You know a lot. Definitely, you're getting higher because you use your brain, right? You are able to make proper choices. You're able to live in your truth. You're able to speak on things that are factual, things that make sense, logic. You're able to speak about things that are concrete, that are real, substantive. It adds to your high nature. It adds to the attractiveness, that you have. You go out in society, and just the way that you present yourself, the way that you speak, or the way that you carry yourself could probably, people might find enthralling. People might find very attractive, like, wow, but at the same time too, people are going to feel uncomfortable by the fact that you know what you know, that you are like that, right? Some people don't want to believe that you're actually that intelligent. They want to believe instead that perhaps you just read that on Google, or you just saw that on TV. That's not your original thoughts, or not coming from your original research. They don't know. They're not in your house. They don't know. And even if they are in, your house or in close proximity to you, work colleagues, family members living in the same house, it's kind of like, they're not sitting beside you 24 hours a day, watching what you do, watching what you read, watching what you investigate, things like that, right? Yep. Right. Right. Exactly. Yep. Birdie says, yep, folks definitely mistake my kindness for ignorance. Actually, I tend to keep quiet in an effort to not embarrass them through their unknowing spirit. Yeah, yes, yeah, exactly. Some people will assume that because you're sweet and soft spoken and kind and charitable and have a beautiful heart, that you don't know anything, or that you're not privy to the world's circumstances or life around you. No, that can exist at the same time. I could be kind, I can be giving, but I know a lot. No one's going to mess with up here. You may be able to give freely and do a lot of charity work, or go to work with a smile on your face, or be exuberant and out there in the world. But that doesn't mean that you're clueless, right? Or that, you're lacking in any kind of intelligence, like you are abundant in intelligence, right? And so, this is going to be a threat to people who just didn't know you were that smart, or who didn't know that you were that studious, or who didn't know that you knew so much, right? That how did you get all this information, or who taught you, or how do you know that, or why do you know that? You may have been questioned as to why you know certain things, like, why do you know that, as though they put you in some kind of hierarchy where you're closer to the bottom, where individuals didn't really see you as somebody who was maybe sophisticated is the word, maybe somebody who comes off as more free spirited and not very grounded. But you can be free spirited and highly intelligent, right? And your intelligence is going to make you look crazy, Very crazy. And this is just my opinion. Your intelligence, because you vibrate so high and your brain operates at a high level, high rate, you're going to be viewed as a crazy person sometimes, depending on who it is around you, right? Where you might be spitting straight facts, right? And they're not to be disputed. You could be laying it all out, laying all the facts out, right? And everybody who's listening is going to try to make you seem like you're a nut, like you don't know what you're talking about, or that's not true, that's not accurate, but they don't have a viable rebuttal. They don't have no substance to add as a response. They don't want to talk about what it is instead or what it could be instead. It's just like, nah, that's wrong. Nah, you're off your rocker, right? The most intelligent people in society, in my opinion, are treated like they are crazy or some kind of anomaly, where this person is speaking facts to a high degree. This person is speaking so much facts. We don't even know how to process it. How do we deal with this information? What are they even talking about? How is it leading from one topic to the next? How is it that they know so much in between? And and that's what I've seen. Intelligent people, especially in the media, or people who speak facts or who stand up for the truth, right, are deemed as crazy, right? That they shouldn't be listened to, or they should be disregarded, they should be discounted, or their statements should be discounted because, they talk a lot of crazy stuff, but you're talking a lot of facts. And it's so crazy that most people, they will willingly digest the poison, poison of the mind, different topics or concepts that are force fed down our throats, things that should be looked at further, or things that should be really questioned more aggressively, right? Like most people, the herd, they'll hear something and they'll just eat it up. And they're not thinking that there could be something else going on here. Maybe they do know that there could be, but they're not trying to go down that rabbit hole, right? So when the intelligent ones do, when they decide to go down that, less traveled path, and they start learning more about what is really going on, what there is to be known, getting more wisdom, getting more knowledge, getting more clarity on the world around them and the happenings around them. These are the individuals who seem crazy. The people who are digging deeper, or the people who show more interest, those are the crazy ones. So that's just my opinion. And that's another reason or a way that people or society dumb folks down, right? To kind of deduce them to, they're just not right. They're not right in their heads, Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about, but they never have a rebuttal to what you're talking about. They never have nothing else to add. It's just shutting you down so that you don't speak. And so everybody's happy. Everybody feels less uncomfortable, next to an intelligent individual, right? So, and another thing I will say too is, don't dumb yourself down when you know how smart you are. You should go out there and use your smarts and use your intelligence to cultivate the best life and to educate people, even people who seem like they don't care. Because people they will act like they don't hear you, or they'll act like they don't want to see you, or they don't want to know about what you know, but they'll listen. They'll actually hear what you're saying. And sometimes they'll even copy. They'll even mimic you after the fact and start talking about what you were talking about that they used to diss you on, right? Or concepts that you were very knowledgeable about. Now, these people who try to hate on you or try to shun you and make you feel uncomfortable about knowing these things, now they're acting like they knew that, or they agree, or they're so sure of this concept, but they were so against it before, right? So it's interesting how the cookie crumbles. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Queen says, keyword, act, right? And with you, your intelligence is no act, right? And, I don't know why why some individuals decide to deduce, somebody who's really smart and able to back it up and talk about it, why they want to make it seem like it's not true, or it's not concrete, or it's not real. That's how you know certain things in society aren't right, or certain ways that we've been led, are not, it's not fully telling the tale, right? Or it's not showing the full picture. And I feel like intelligent people are a threat because they do go deeper. They investigate, they find things out, and then they try to alert people because intelligent people are want to alert others naturally. Intelligent people want to help others see what is really going on, to share the knowledge, to share what they found out, to share and to elevate. It is to elevate, is to show people that you know something, or this is how something really is. Maybe it's something that is more of an advisory. It could be anything like that. But your intelligence is going to be a threat. You may have seen it at the workplace, right? Where you're doing your thing, right? You're doing your thing, and there could be coworkers at your workplace that don't like that. They don't like that you know a lot. They don't like that when you're asked a question, you have the answer, or they don't really like when you are called upon to be an advisor of some kind or to be a mediator of some kind because you know a lot. You're probably called upon to figure situations out that it requires the mind, it requires deep thought, or unique resolutions. Maybe you're called upon for these things, right, where other people are overlooked, not because they're insignificant or they have nothing to offer, but their minds maybe aren't that deep, or perhaps they're just not right for the job, right? So that could really grow envy and jealousy within the workplace, where people, they believe that they're dressed in a nice pinstripe suit and they come with their hair curled or hair gelled back, with the shoes, with the suit, and they have the credentials, surely. But just because you have the credentials, it doesn't mean that you are intelligent. It doesn't mean that you are wise. It doesn't mean that you're super, super smart. It just means that you fulfill the requirements to get that credential. Anybody can do that, right? But when it comes to the mind, and when it comes to knowing certain concepts, or being more susceptible, maybe susceptible is not even the right word, but being more open-minded to deeper concepts, like when you're more open-minded, that's going to jilt people who are not really used to maybe using their minds deeper, maybe not used to talking about things that are beneath the surface, right? Somebody may have it all, the whole look together, but beyond that, there's no substance. And so when they're around somebody like you, who has the substance, who has the intelligent mind, who's able to work through their thoughts, who are able to draw reasonable conclusions and elevate everybody with these processes, you're going to be like a target of some kind sometimes, where people are going to try to like knock you out, because not literally, but like knock you out of the way, or to, have you vacate your space or vacate your spot, because they don't want to hear you speaking your mind, or they don't want to hear you have the resolution to every problem every time. They're tired of it. Like, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to be a part of your world if that's what it's always going to be. You're going to have a lot of people trying to dumb you down when they know you're very, very smart. Why would they do that? Why is it such a threat? It's a threat because they know your intelligence elevates you, and your intelligence helps you get everything you want in this world. Your intelligence, your wit, your wisdom, your knowledge, guiding you to make the best choices. You've been through a lot, so you know the right choices now. You know how to move now, right? You know what to do, what not to do. It's very attractive. It shows that you've grown, you've transformed, you've changed, right? In the best ways, right? Or you have not, maybe not fully changed, but really turned over a new leaf, or added to what you were already building, right? A lot of us can feel like we're very smart, but we keep getting smarter. We get wiser. We still go through the mud. We still, get into situations that requires intelligence, or it requires to have a solid mind enough to work through it and to get through it on the other side, right? So, when it comes to intelligence, when maybe people might be feeling that maybe you get through all your problems and they couldn't do it like that. They wouldn't be able to recover, right? Or to get through the issue like you do, or like you did or have, because it requires a lot of brain activity. It requires a lot of thinking. It requires a lot of knowledge, a lot of deep thoughts and deep concepts and deep visions. You know, this is how you probably move, where it just intimidates people who don't go that far or who feel like they don't have to, you know, what they have and what they know is good enough. They don't want to build, they don't want to expand. Yep. Mm-hmm. Little Terabyte says people can't be happy for others. Instead, they tear down. Of course. You know, this is kind of like the way, isn't it? That just is the way that a lot of people move, right? They can't be happy for you. They don't want to cheer you on. They don't appreciate what you know, you know? They want to tear down what you know, stomp on it, say that it doesn't exist, it's not real. But once again, with offering no rebuttal, offering no evidence, offering no resolution, offering no insight, no substance, just nah, it's not, you're talking a bunch of nonsense, right? That's what people will do, right? But it's to discredit us because they know that your intelligence level is quite high. You know, you're a high functioning intellect. You have a certain path. You're on a certain path. You have a certain type of life where you have been bestowed with innate intelligence and the ability to expand on the intelligence that has been gifted to you, right? Or the predisposition to be you know, a studious individual, somebody who likes to read, somebody who likes to create, somebody who likes to ask a lot of questions, right? And one of the things I was told a lot as a child is that I asked too many questions, right? And same as a teenager, when I was a teenager, people would say, man, like you just don't stop talking, right? You're always asking something. Why are you always, you know, why do you always have a question to the question? But I tell them I'm just curious. You know, I really want to know, right? And I feel like that has helped me to learn more about life is to ask a lot of questions, right? But you'll notice when you do ask a lot of questions, people are, you know, jumpy about it. You know, when you're asking questions that perhaps no one ever asks, right? There was, you know, there have been times when I've asked a group of people, you know, what I would think is pretty basic questioning, pretty basic requests, like why is this way or why is that this way? And they're like so taken aback by my question. It's like, nobody asks that around here. They don't say that, but they move like that. Like, nobody's supposed to ask that, or shh, don't say that around here. No, don't say that, right? It's like, what is so taboo with what I'm asking? Why it does not, why does nobody want to ask questions? Isn't this pertinent information that people should know, or that, you know, is something that should be probed further? What's with all the hostility or with all the shadiness and trying to keep things covered and concealed? You know, let's talk about it. Let's bring it out in the open. Let's ask questions. And you'll see when you try to get more information and use your intelligence to probe situations further, you're going to be met with backlash. People who don't want to answer any questions, or people who want to cover things up or be vague with you, right? So it could be like that. Right. Queen says curiosity is the key. Right. Yeah, Calvin says that's why I lay low and play slow. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yep. Ethereal Seer says they won't celebrate you, right? You're gonna see that unfortunately, when it comes to you, you know, you're going to be put on. People generally, when they're very jealous, especially of your mind, and they're so intimidated that you know a lot, some people don't like it. I'm telling you, some people are turned off by your mind or turned off by your wisdom, you know, information that you have, intelligence that you've come into or that you've been bestowed with, right? You're going to find people who are offended that you move in a certain way and you hold your head high in a certain way. You're able to speak on certain things that people don't speak on, or, you know, it's a threat because nobody around here does that, right? It's silly, right? People should be asking more questions and finding out more information about whatever the subject matter is. Whatever interests you, you should probe further, because you're going to learn a lot and it adds to your intelligence. It adds to what you know. That is powerful, right? Sometimes we may not realize that we're, a certain skill that we don't have. Then we come into learning about the skill, and then we become so proficient in the skill that we're able to teach that skill, and then, it required intelligence, but now you just got more intelligent, got more smart, got more wise, because these are all like the chronological steps, and it just keeps going in a circle where you're a student and you learn and you become more proficient, then you become a teacher, you're able to speak on things, and then it just goes on and on and on, right? I think people probably are aware by now that you are very, very wise and you're not going anywhere, You may have been ostracized from many groups, or, left out and made to feel insignificant and unintelligent, actually, right? People will try to make you feel like the opposite, like you don't know nothing, right? Or whatever you have to say, they shut it down immediately to make you not speak out again, right? It's to make you feel so bad that you don't speak out again, or you don't share your thoughts again. And it's to control you, or to shape and mold you into being a puppet, or into being someone who's malleable, somebody who's controllable, and somebody who's dependent. Like people sometimes, they'll realize that you're intelligent, you're independent, you're doing your own thing. People don't have to tell you what to do. You use your own mind. You have your own resources. You've been through your own mud pile. You got through everything you've been handed, everything that was thrown at you. Intelligent, smart. Like there's no debate. There's no like discrediting that. People will try, but they're not going to be successful. It's what they can't get at, It's what they cannot get at. That's what gets people that's what gets people bent. Like they can't get at your intelligence. They cannot get at your brain. They can't make you, not know, right? It's like you're probably the type of person who's open to knowing things, of course, because that's why you're so intelligent. But if there was ever to be a person in your life who came with ill intent to try to poison your mind or try to mislead you into thinking about different things or questioning your own intelligence, it's not going to fly. It's not going to pop off like that. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be where they got to go, because if they're not adding, if they're not cultivating your life or helping to cultivate, helping you to grow yourself, helping to uplift and educate humanity, what are they there for, really? It's have you ever have you ever been in a situation where people purposely try to make you feel dumb? They purposely try to, like, they'll like blink rapidly in your face when you're talking, or make noises that suggest that they're bored with you, or they don't want to hear it. They act like they don't know what you're talking about, or they don't want you to continue to talk about what you know, right? It's very interesting. Like some people will try to make you feel that you don't know anything. And it's like, what's the big, why do they care? Like, why do they care that you're smart? Like, why does that offend them? Anybody can learn. Learning is up for grabs. Anybody who wants to can learn a skill, a trade, a way of being, and it grows from there. If you care, it'll grow. It will grow. It will grow wild, actually, just being intelligent, being smart, witty, it grows. When you get that ball rolling, when it comes to your mind, you can't stop. You continue. It's like people can't catch up. When it comes to somebody that has your type of brain, people cannot catch up. And I think some people feel intimidated by that because they're not used to this kind of situation, right? Where somebody who they thought didn't have the smarts, or somebody they thought would never figure something out, did, and is surpassing them perhaps, or is schooling them in some kind of way, inadvertently, by the way, and making them feel insignificant, or eating at their ego, right? So it can kind of be like that. Your intelligence is a threat. It's what they can't compromise. They cannot, make you, once again, make you not know or erase, what you know. They can't do that, right? They have to accept it. Right. Yeah, Queen says can't compromise. Right. Right. Lynn says because it shows how much they lack. Right. Yeah, Lil Terabyte says they have no depth. Right. Calvin says they don't like when they hear it from me. But but someone else say it, they celebrate it. I just lay back and laugh. I know exactly what you're talking about, Calvin. Yep. Yep. Why? Why? Okay, so when Tom, Dick, and Harry says it, everybody's jumping up doing backflips, right? Oh my gosh, did you hear what Tommy said? Did you hear, I've seen this. It's berserk. It's a little bit bizarre. You can come with the same info and add a little spin on it yourself, your own little rendition. They don't care. It's like a whisper in the wind. They didn't hear you. That's how they're gonna move. They didn't hear you. It's because they know that you're different. They know that you're deeper. Tom, Dick, and Harry, they're kind of a part of the herd. So when Tom, Dick, and Harry has a little insightful moment, it's like, oh my gosh, Tom, Dick, and Harry. Plus, they're not intimidated by Tom and Dick and Harry. Most people are not feeling any type of competition when it comes to Tom, Dick, and Harry. But if you're you, right, and you have the same knowledge, you have the same information, if not more, they don't want to hear from you. Oh, they're gonna act like you're making it up. It's not true. They'll literally try to debate you with, once again, no rebuttal. Just saying, nah, no, no, you're wrong. I don't want to talk about this, right? But Tom, Dick, and Harry, oh my gosh, yes, I agree. Or tell me more. Man. And that's why you could tell that there's a jealousy there. There's a jealousy, there's a lingering, a whiff of hatred, you know, just this competition, people feeling uncomfortable that because you're different and you're unique and you're mysterious and attractive, just a jack of all trades, plus you're intelligent, like they can't have all that. They can't let all that slide, right? It has to be one or the other, one or the other. They don't like people who are like multi-dimensional or multi-layered, not even multi-dimensional, multi-layered. Like people who are, there's more layers to them than meets the eyes. This is, for some reason triggering to people who tend to be one dimensional or one layered, or there's not much substance to them, beyond the materialistic superficial sense, you know? So it could be like that. That's why your intelligence is a threat. It's like you just go deeper. People know that when it comes to you, it's deep. There's no misconstruing it. With you, it's different. And that includes what you know, right? It's not, they know you're not the way of the herd. They know you're not like that. You don't move like that. So how do you move? You move vastly different. You move with your brain, right? You move with your knowledge, your intelligence, and your wit. It carries you through to heights that they're not used to, or to heights that they've only heard of. They've not witnessed it themselves or experienced it themselves. Not to say that they can't. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they have. But the intelligence that you have, or the potency of your intelligence, is just, people will find it a little bit off-putting for sure. I have people trying to fight me from what I talk about, or people try to fight me for what I say, what I speak on, and things like that, or trying to say that it's, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's not like having an opinion. It's like trying to like knock me down, like it's very fine for somebody to have a varying view from what I have to say, or from what I share, or what my opinion is, or my stance is on a certain topic. But these hateful people, they take it a step further. They're trying to like destroy the character. You can tell they're really trying to get at you and make it seem like you're just a shell of a person. You're not all together, but they know that you know a lot, but they don't want to come to terms with that because for some reason it makes them feel bad about themselves or makes them feel bad about their state of affairs or who they are as a person. I believe a lot of issues are from within. So if someone's triggered by your intelligence, it's because they might feel they're not smart or they don't make smart choices, but they see you making smart choices. Or perhaps in a family dynamic situation where everybody just chose one way, the generic way, the cookie cutter way, and you chose the other way because your mind's too sharp, way too sharp for these people to grasp or understand. So then what they start doing is trying to belittle you or try to keep you stuck in their pattern or come join us on our path, our cookie cutter path, by the way, that clearly probably doesn't entice you, right? You're going to be made to feel like you're not smart or you're making a bad decision or you're making a bad choice, or they may have told you like you're doing the wrong thing. That's not smart, but what's good for you, because you've been through the mud. You've been through a lot of battles that you come out on top every single time. So it's not like they could like school you on life. You already you're living your life and you're learning lessons and you're getting wiser, making better choices. Sometimes people want you to be bound to the life that they live, or everybody goes one way and you gotta go too, and you can't take your brain, right? Leave that somewhere else. We go here, we're mindless, right? The way we go, we don't have our own thoughts, we don't express our own feelings, we just do what everybody else does. Or perhaps when we are speaking on things, we don't speak on things unless it's between that group. We don't say things out loud, right? So there's a level of conformity there that, with intelligence, a lot of times people who are intelligent are more likely to go their own way and to make their own choices and to do their own thing because they know what they want and they know what is right. They know what's right, not right, in a, morally only, what's right for them, what's right, what's good for them, what works for them, not just what works for everybody else. That's secondary. It's what works for you, right? It's what makes you happy, right? Your intelligence has put you into special rooms. These people are like looking through a glass. You know what I mean? Like a mirror, like a two-way mirror, right? Where these people, they don't see everything. They see it, it's kind of like that. Like these people don't fully know how, like what's on the other side. Like people don't really understand you. They don't understand your intelligence. They don't understand how you know certain things. They don't see the full picture. And they get confused. And then when they start figuring it out, they get angry. Intelligence is a threat. People probably didn't know you were that smart. You're going to be targeted because you're smart, right? You're going to be spoken down to, but you shouldn't be, because you're highly wise. You should be respected. But people, they said, nah, I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to respect you because you think you know everything. But it's not about thinking about knowing everything. It's just knowing that I know. It's not trying to be higher than anybody else. It's just knowing what I know and wanting to know more and more and more and more. I want to be better. I want to know a lot. People are going to try to, make you feel bad about wanting to know a lot and try to shame you, but they're scared and they're jealous because they didn't take that route. They didn't take the route of getting to know more information or learning more. They limited themselves. They'll try to use a scapegoat and say, oh, somebody held them back. They may be even blaming you, saying you held them back from being their best versions of themselves, right? A lot of times happens in the family. People try to like point fingers because they're going to see you taken off and everybody else is kind of like on the same path that they tried to make it seem like was attractive to you. But then when they see your life working out and you're using your intelligence and you're very smart, They try to make it seem like, oh, you should not go higher, or you should not get your accolades. You should not be able to go out there and win because we're all suffering over here, you know? And you should, what's so good about you and what's so good about what you know? Anybody could know that. Anybody, you know? So, you're going to have a lot of people trying to discredit you, try to make it seem like what you know is insignificant, but why are they mad? You know, why are they mad if what you know isn't isn't nothing special, right? Why are they so pressed that why, they're here to demean, right? And they think they're doing a good job. But my question is, why are they so bent out of shape about what you know? Right? Is it because you know more than them? Is it because you're willing to go out there and educate, or, wake people up? Is it because of how you approach people, speak your mind freely? Is it that? Like, what is it? It's probably a smorgasbord of things. Why people get so jilted and intimidated that you are smart, right? And why you choose to use your brain, right? And not partake in mindless activities, or jump before you think, right? You think, then you act. That's intelligent, right? It should go without saying, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people in this world, they jump, then think later, if they can think later, and then they want to look at somebody to blame and look at somebody to fault when they had free will to make a better choice, to use their own brain, right? So, yep. Right. Yeah, crypto says it's insecurities. Yep. Divine prophecy says haters hate themselves. They don't like themselves. That's certainly must be true. That they don't like themselves enough because they're so quick to hate. They have a propensity to hate, to be jealous, right? So clearly it's like, well, if you were secure with yourself and loved yourself and was really confident in yourself, you would not have the mindset to attack other people or to hate on others because you're good, right? So it's shaky. But you got to keep your mind sharp through all of life's woes, right? Because, of course, with life, when life happens, it can compromise your state of mind. It can make you feel like confused and disoriented and unsure of what to do next and how to move next. And perhaps you're not that smart. It's not that. Don't let the devil get into your head, because the devil has vessels, and the vessels are humans around us, right? That are used by the devil to do his dirty work and to try to make us believe that we don't have a good life, or that we have nothing to look forward to, and you mean nothing and you know nothing, right? But we know that's not factual, right? That is the negative feelings that they feel about themselves, most likely. And they don't want you to have that confidence and exuberance and that witty mind. They don't want you to have that, because it seems like a rarity these days, right? To be sporting a mind, right? It seems to be a rarity, a treat, right? That's why you're going to be treated differently or treated strangely, because it's a treat. It's different. It's starkly different from what people are used to seeing in their day-to-day lives. You're going to be attacked for your mind, but you got to still keep your mind sharp. Because when you keep your mind sharp, you will still be able to mitigate these circumstances, make all the great choices, make all the right moves, do what you want to do. You can keep that up. You can keep the momentum going because you're keeping your mind right, keeping your mind sharp, and not letting anybody get up here. Because if they're not willing to do the work to keep their mind sharp, that's on them. You have your own brain and you have your own free will. And if you want to use your free will to grow your mind, to cultivate a better life, to educate the masses, your brain can do a lot, right? But your brain can work against you, right? And your brain can play tricks on you. Your mind can play tricks. It's about controlling and mastering your mind, understanding and repeating and living that life, that you know who you are, you know that you're smart, you know that you're very wise, you've been through a lot of things, You're still here, still smart, still intelligent, still kicking, and you're going to continue on that path. There's no slowing it down, there's no stopping it. You're going to continue. All right, everybody. So keep being that smart person that you are and spread that intelligence every way that you go. Sprinkle it, spread it, love it, enjoy life, be exuberant, never stop learning, because you got to love life. You got to learn in life. You got to take the lessons, flip it into something, make something beautiful of your life, vital. It's vital. And, when people start treating you differently, start targeting you and making you feel bad because of what you know, just keep your mind sharp. Once you keep your mind sharp, or as you keep your mind sharp, always going to be 10 steps ahead of the people who do not, who are not taking care of their minds and who are neglecting themselves, right? Always stay 10 steps ahead, keep your mind sharp, and do whatever it is that works for you, that allows you to keep your mind sharp, that allows you to keep your mind right, okay? Because, the world that we're living in is crazy. Beautiful world, but crazy residents, people who are going to attack us, going to try to get at us, going to try to, target us and hurt us, try to make us feel inadequate, you name it. People are going to do it. And one thing that will help a lot is to keep your mind sharp, because no one can get up here. That's the thing. This is like a safe place. Nobody can get up here. So once you keep that guarded, and you keep your mind sharp, keep your mind right, it doesn't matter what people do, right? Or how they try to talk to you or treat you. You already know. It's just one of those things, you're smart, right? And you get to move accordingly to that. And you get to live your best life because you're smart, you're intelligent, right? And share it with the world. Everybody, share your intelligence with the world, okay? I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys so very much for being here on this live stream. I hope you guys have been enjoying December 2024 so far. It's been a very good month so far. I'm loving it. Very cold here in Toronto, very, very cold, but I love the cold. Just enjoy the rest of 2024. Live life to the fullest, everybody. I'm on Facebook, so check me out on Facebook if you wish to. All right, it's there. Thank you to the individual who just donated that generous super chat. I really appreciate that. I'm not seeing your name here, but I thank you for that, for all the likes and for all the watches. I really appreciate you guys for all of the commentary. Thank you guys so very much. Hope you guys enjoy the stream, and more content is coming, all right, into the new year. All right, life is beautiful, life is sweet. Keep your mind right at all times. Nobody can get up here. Nobody can get up here. Keep your mind clear. All right, everybody. So stay up. I'm ending the stream. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. All right, and take care, live life, and I'll see you guys soon, okay? Bye.